hope you're all well. Today I am here to give you some Christmas festive romance recommendations. I love this time of year. Christmas is my favourite holiday and I love reading romances around the festive season. So this is just a small-ish collection of some festive romances. Actually, I think I read all of these last year, weirdly enough. I don't have too many on my list. I have a lot more that I haven't read yet, but I'm hoping to get to this year. But I do have quite the collection here to show you. These were all 5 and 4 stars for me, 4 and 5 stars for me. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So the first book I have here is The Mistletoe Motive by Chloe Leese. This was my first Chloe Leese book. I have read another one by her since. And it's not too long. This is for fans of The Hating Game and You've Got Mail. It is enemies to lovers, and we are following Jonathan and Gabriella, who work in an independent bookstore called Bailey's Bookshop. And the owners end up telling these two that the business is in a dire state with its finances, and there is the imminent threat of unemployment for both of them. So they have to kind of work together to come up with a plan to keep the bookshop going. Not only that, but Jonathan has some stuff going on that he's trying to deal with, and Gabriella also has an ex that will not leave her alone. He's kind of stalking her a little bit. So this is enemies to lovers. This was so good. I really enjoyed this so much. This is just the sweetest romance and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I fell completely in love with this book. I'm so tempted to reread it again this year. Just a little sneak peek of something, a conversation between Jonathan and Gabriella. I think they're working in the bookshop at this point. Until Jonathan tells Siri to play holiday radio with a note of command in his voice that's downright pornographic. I gape at him. He glances my way, then does a double take. What? I've never heard your voice sound like that. He arches an eyebrow. Like what? Very stern and bossy. I crisscross my legs against the ache that's nearly painful now. Like bedroom bossy. He gives me a disbelieving side glance. I told Siri to play music station, Gabriella, not get on her knees. I freaking love this book and would highly recommend. This was an easy 5-star read for me, and I would highly recommend it. It's so good. Who doesn't want festive feels, enemies to lovers in a bookshop? What more could you ask for? Next, we do have a book that is, well, currently the last in a series. I don't know if we're going to get any more out of this series, but I really hope that we do. It is currently the last in a series, and I would recommend reading them all in order because you do follow the characters throughout the books. But that is A Very Merry Bromance by Lyssa Kay Adams. I love this series, and this is by far my favourite book in the whole series. We're following Colton Wheeler, who is a country music singer, and the fact that I even remember his name is a feat in itself, considering I can't remember someone's name who they just told me 5 minutes ago, quite frankly. But I freaking love this book. It is a second chance romance following Colton and Gretchen. They met a year earlier at one of the weddings of one of the other bros from the book club, and they had a one-night stand, and then they didn't see each other again. And then she ends up, I think she's seeking the help of Colton, if I remember correctly. Oh yeah, the new face of their whiskey brand. She is an immigration attorney, but she's been asked to go and ask Colton if he will be the new face of a whiskey brand because she knows him personally. She is absolutely dreading this. She also hates Christmas, so we have the opposite of what usually it is with the man usually hating Christmas. So she is very much a Scrooge. He very much so loves Christmas, and he just ends up trying to wine and dine her and get his second chance romance with her, make her see the beauty in Christmas, and it's just so beautiful. I think my favourite thing about this series, because I just love the whole of this series, which starts off with Bromance Book Club. We follow different guys within the book club, and essentially they read romance novels to help them be better lovers and partners to their other halves. I think the thing I love the most about this book, with the other books included, is the fact that we follow Colton's story all the way through. So the whole time we are following the other stories with the other books. Colton seems very much like a player, very much like a ladies' man, and I think I just love the fact that we see his character arc so much in the other books that by the time we get his book, we see his soft cinnamon roll side, and I just adore that. This is definitely my favourite in the whole series, followed very closely by Vlad. But I just love this series so much and I would highly recommend it, and this one is perfect for Christmas. Next, we do have A Cross Country Christmas by Courtney Walsh. This is very much so brother's best friend. It is also close proximity. Essentially, we are following Lauren Richmond and also Will Sinclair. So Lauren doesn't usually go home for the holidays, but her brother and his wife are expecting their first baby, so she's decided to make the trip. However, she's terrified of flying, so her brother has made a deal with his best friend that Will come and get her and take her home to Illinois. However, Lauren has had a crush on Will for the last 10 years, and Will tries to spend the whole of this trip trying to prove to her that he has changed, and also himself, and this is just the sweetest story, and I really loved it. I love me a good close proximity road trip type book, and this is perfect for this time of year. It's got all the winter cozy festive Christmas vibes, and it's just so perfect. It's not even that long either. I believe that there's a second one now come out as well by Courtney Walsh, which I really do want to get my hands on, but I think it's more of like a spring summertime vibe. I think it's a wedding if I remember correctly, so I'm very excited to get my hands on that one. But this one, so beautiful. I loved this story. Next, we do have A Merry Little Meet Cute by Julie Murphy and Sierra Simone. I loved this. This was so steamy. Considering the cover looks very sweet and innocent, this was really steamy. We're following B. Hobbs, who is essentially a adult filmmaker. Let's call her that, shall we? However, she really wants to try and get into making movies that, you know, can be seen publicly on TV. So she ends up managing to get herself in this small town Christmas movie called Christmas Notch, and her opposing leading role is Nolan Shaw, who is an ex-boy band member. However, he recognises B. She's trying to keep it under wraps, what she actually does for a job, and he recognises her, and she is his favourite adult movie actress. Am I even saying this right? He's her favourite porn star, and he absolutely adores her, and this is their story essentially. He's trying to not let on what he knows about her because she's clearly trying to keep it under wraps. But I loved this so much. I even loved the side characters in this one. The latest one has just come out, Holly Jolly something or other, I can't remember what it's called, but I'm hoping to get to that one this year because I really thoroughly enjoyed this one. I've read from Julie Murphy and Sierra Simone separately. Julie Murphy, I have read more like YA and middle grade from her, and then Sierra Simone I've read adult. So to have this combo, they worked so well together. The writing was fantastic. I really loved the story. The characters were incredible. I had an absolute riot with this and I absolutely loved it. So I would recommend another 5-star from me. And then I do have 2 4-star reads that I read last year. Next, I do have Make You Mine This Christmas by Lizzie Huxley Jones. I ended up reading this one instead of Kiss Her Once for me last year because the storylines are very similar. So we're following Half, who goes to this Christmas party and she meets this guy called Christopher, and he ends up having a confrontation with his ex-girlfriend, and before Half knows it, she's making out with Christopher in front of everybody. And then there is a story going around that she's going back to Oxley with Christopher to see his family over Christmas. She has no other better plans, so this is fake dating. She has no other better plans, so she goes back with him to spend Christmas with his family. They pretend that they're dating in front of their family. It gets his family off his case and it gives her something to do for over Christmas. However, she ends up falling for his sister, Kit. I loved this. This was so good. I believe it has a very similar storyline to Kiss Her Once for me, so if you've read that one, you will love this one. I just loved the representation in here. I loved the storyline. I loved the plot. There is disability rep in here, there is bisexual rep in here, and it was absolutely fantastic. I truly loved this one. I had such a good time with it. This one is the edition from Afterlight that came last year, but this was so good, and I really enjoyed it. I'm so glad I picked it up, because just looking at the cover, this isn't something I would pick up from the shop, because I would think that this would be a more women's fic type book, but this was really good, and I can't recommend it enough. So if you spotted this one and gone, nah, that's not up my street, 100% it is, especially if you liked Kiss Her Once for me, which I'm hoping to read this year. And then last but by no means least, another 4-star from me, it was The Christmas Wish by Lindsay Kelk. Lindsay Kelk is one of my favourite authors of all time, because her books, the I Heart series, is the series that got me back into reading, so it holds a very special place in my heart, as does Lindsay, and I loved this. Think Groundhog Day. So in this one we are following Gwen Baker, who is a newly single lawyer, and she is going back to her family town to spend Christmas with her family. Now her teenage crush Dev is also going to be there. However, she keeps waking up on Christmas Day and is stuck in a snowy Groundhog Day. She gets repeated meet cutes with Dev, and she seems to think that the universe is trying to tell her something. This was really sweet, and I really enjoyed it. Like I say, Lindsay Kelk holds a special place in my heart, and I am yet to find a book of hers that I have not liked, but this one I truly enjoyed. It's very good, and I would highly recommend it. It is a standalone, so you can go into this one without having read anything else from Lindsay, whereas some of her others are parts of series. But yeah, I would highly recommend this one as well. And that is my list of Christmas recommendations for you. So The Mistletoe Motive, A Very Merry Bromance, A Cross Country Christmas, and A Merry Little Meet Cute were all 5 stars. And then Make You Mine This Christmas and Christmas Wish were 4 stars from me. And I absolutely loved all of these. They gave me all of the feels, everything I was looking for from a Christmas romance. And yeah, I can't wait to read more of these, especially like others in the series. So the next one in the Cross Country Christmas series, and also the next one in the Merry Little Meet Cute series as well. But I really enjoyed all of these. Let me know in the comments down below if you've read any of them. Let me know if you have any other recommendations for me based off of this, because I'm always on the lookout for Christmas book recommendations, especially romance ones. And also, do you like my sweater? Because I love it. It's from Stitch S. I will leave a link to her shop in the description box down below if you want to go and check her out. I would highly recommend. I have a Grinch one as well, and then a Christmas trees one, and I've got a second Grinch one coming, because I have no chill. She has no chill, so therefore I have no chill. But yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this video. Chat to me in the comments down below. Let me know if you've read any of these. Have you got any other recommendations? And I shall see you in whatever comes next. Bye for now.